Hello, 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 all you beautiful beings out there, and welcome to Sage and Seer Emporium, all things homeopathy and healing. Oh, just such a treat in store for everybody today. I am talking to the most beautiful man, that is Zac Carpenter. He's a very dear friend of mine and also a fellow homeopath, Reiki master and teacher. He is a quantum energy therapist. He's a tarot card reader. He's a crystal healer. This man is one to watch and a rising star in the field of homeopathy and all things healing. And it is just an absolute joy to be able to share with you today, Mr. Zac Carpenter. Welcome to the show, Zac.
Oh, Janey, oh bless you. Thank you for that introduction. That literally my heart is just wow.
Oh,
Bless
well,
you.
do you
Thank
know
you.
what? You deserve it. You're such a sweetheart. From the moment that Zac and I connected, which was actually during lockdown, I was trying to order some remedies from Helios Pharmacy, where he was working at the time. And for reasons unknown to myself at the time, I couldn't get the remedies into Ireland. And so I thought, well, I'll send this young man a message and see what's going on. He's got the inside information. And that's how our wonderful relationship started. So
Absolutely.
it was just divine, wasn't it, Zac? And
Oh,
we've just stayed friends and actually ended up having a session with you, which was
yeah.
awesome. So welcome to the show. I can't wait to dive in and hear more about what you do and for you to share with everybody who's watching, a little bit about yourself and your gifts.
Oh,
So
I'm very blessed to be here. And just to note as well, Janey, you know Tunbridge Wells very well. And as soon as you made that connection with me, and I think we were talking about an old nightclub that used to be down here, I just felt like, wow, this is an energetic timeline that I know so well, and it felt as though I was you, you were me. Back when you were in Tunbridge Wells, it just
I know,
felt
back
really
in the
in my mind.
90s. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was a bit of a raver back then. So, and I was living in
once a raver,
Canterbury.
always a raver.
But yeah, I was living in Canterbury then, and my best friend was in Tunbridge Wells. So yeah, that's it. That's right. It was like definitely some energy thing was going on. So it was, yeah. So there's quite a few connections that Zac and I have made since we've been friends. And I think this is also for those of you that don't know much about homeopathy, this is a real kind of thing in homeopathy that you find is part of actually the energy of the remedies as well, that they kind of travel out through different timelines and spaces. So shall we jump in, Zac, and introduce yourself a little bit, let people know who you are, where you are, and what you offer, and then I'm going to kind of grab you on one of your offerings and just do a little bit more of a deep dive into that.
Yes, so Sage and Seer Emporium. My name is Zac Carpenter, 24 years old, and I live in Tunbridge Wells in Kent. And I have been practicing as probably my whole life as an energy healer in some capacity. But professionally, I have been up and running for the past 4 years. And I'm in my first year of going completely solo, completely self-employed. And in my daily life, I run my practice, Healing with Zac, and I infuse a myriad of different modalities, from homeopathy to quantum healing, psychic work and mediumship, Reiki. All of it just flows so organically together throughout my practice. So clients step in here, maybe with a problem that they may be facing, a symptom, whatever it may be, and we can use some form of energy work to support them, to give them maybe fresh perspectives, and just to be there with them for their healing experience in whatever capacity that may look like. So we in a consultation with me, we may just pick and choose 5 minutes of each modality if that's what needed. My mission is to support whoever resonates with me with whatever they may need, even if it does mean we have to stretch the boundaries of what a homeopathic consultation may look like.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, that just, I kind of work quite similarly to that. Again, another connection for us both. I want to know then, Zac, what was the first modality that, you know, kind of grabbed you? So when I was 5, that's when I found crystals. So for you, what was the first thing that I guess you trained in, say?
Yeah, well, like you, first thing was crystals. Mum and Dad recall me being absolutely fixated on an old crystal shop that used to be on the Pantiles in Tunbridge Wells, and I can't even recall that. But you know, looking back through childhood, crystals has always been very present. But it wasn't until I was at university studying to be studying in fashion marketing and promotion. I really wanted to work in magazines. I had the opportunity to collaborate with Vogue. I was working for Italian fashion house Moschino at the time and Topshop. And one day, just driving along to university, a car crash happened, and my nan was sitting next to me, who died 7 years prior. And that was sort of that moment. I don't really like to use the term awakening, but on paper, that's what it was like.
Shift in your consciousness.
Absolutely. And that sort of started that process. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's way more to life here. And jump forward a year, you know, I left the degree, I left a toxic relationship, and I found Reiki. And it wasn't until that third person in life came up to me and said, oh, have you ever heard about Reiki? I was like, right, well, I've got to listen. Third time's a charm, let's go with it. And that was 5, maybe even 6 years ago now.
Wow.
And it's just, as everybody listening here who is interested in training in something or is trained in anything in life, energy healing or not, you all know that it transforms you. And it doesn't just transform you, but it transforms the next step, and you may invite new, fresh modalities and CBDs into the mix, whether you're doing accounting, marketing, or homeopathy. I think we can all agree here that there's a transition and a transformation that happens when you find your rhythm.
That's it, totally. Wow. So you went for a few Reiki sessions with somebody, and then that would have further actually opened the channels for you to receive more wisdom, more insight, more, you know, your intuition actually starts to really crack open.
That's it.
So from there, how many sessions did you have before you decided to do the training?
First of all, my family and I fostered greyhounds. I think we fostered it must be close to 30 greyhounds in between our first and our last, which are the 2 dogs we have now, Holly our first and Luke our last. And we had a couple of dogs that needed that energetic support of Reiki. So we called forth a Reiki practitioner locally, and I saw the shifts in the dogs even before the Reiki practitioner arrived at the house.
Oh, wow. And
just the energies afterwards, I thought, well, that was my gateway, actually seeing the dogs, the animals receive in their purest form. So I was receiving the energy from the animals, and then stepped into my own zone. And I think it was one session on myself, but a couple on the animals that really started that journey into being a student.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? With that, for a lot of people who have like a difficulty grasping energy healing, because it's something that you can't actually see. But if you're working on an animal, it's so palpable because they respond very quickly to Reiki, in the sense where sometimes they'll just lie down and receive, and other times you'll see them circling around. They're going, what the heck is going on? Don't touch me. Oh my God, what is that? I want some. No.
Absolutely.
They're very curious, yes, and you can see the response in them quite quickly. So yeah, if anybody's out there and they are curious about Reiki and how it works, just go and get a session. You know, find someone that you resonate with and just dive in there. That's awesome. And so now, Zac, you're a Reiki master, 6 years on, and you also teach Reiki. So how's that going for you? Have you had any attunements? Have you passed any attunements yet for students?
Yes, I have. And actually I've done the journey conducting one-on-one sessions in regards to the teaching and the attunements, but then inviting and holding space for multiples to be here to actually practice the art in person, to hold sessions. And I don't know why I decided to do that. That just felt right to hold space like that. Yeah, so
fab. Yeah, that's brilliant. People in Kent, if you're looking for somebody, go and find Zac. And
yes.
like after that, then Zac, what was next? Kind of what was talk me into the process. What happened? Because like once you start working with energy, it opens up your whole world, and all these things start to happen in a way that is often like, wow, you know, plenty of wow moments. So what was the next thing like?
I think the next thing was unexpected mediumship, just being in spaces, whether it be a house or a piece of land or just with somebody, and just receiving that little bit of vibration from beyond the veil to support whatever experience I was having at the time, sorry. And
how does that manifest for you, Zac? Is it like clairaudience or clairvoyance, or how does it, is it like a feeling? Do you get a smell?
I've to be frank, I get a lot of bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's mainly clairvoyance. Clairaudience is sort of my least honed in skill at this moment in time. But just the claircognizance and clairsentience, specifically in physical sensations in the body, I seem to always get just like bear hugged by energies that want to step through. And if I haven't conducted a yes yet, if I haven't invited them, I get the bear hugs, and I have to say, you know, excuse me, boundaries, please. This is not happening right now. Bear with me 5 minutes, just so I can get myself in the space to conduct. But yeah, they pick and choose, I think, and I think it very much depends on the energy we're in. And if we're just not in the space to hear it, we may taste it. If we're not in the space to taste it, we may see it. I think when you've accepted and you've allowed it to step through, and you're governing, of course, by high vibrational universal frequencies, the universe will support in whatever fashion that you see fit to be in that moment in time.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, multi-dimensional holistic healing, and everything is vibrational. So yeah, it's just listening, feeling, sensing those cues of what's going on, isn't it? And picking up what's in the field. So after the Reiki, we went off on a little tangent there. After the Reiki, because I know you do this amazing thing called body holographic.
Yeah, body holographic interpretation. So before BHI, as it's also known, homeopathy.
Okay,
just sort of how can I put it? Sort of the Tower card in tarot. It's homeopathy. This is going to absolutely change your life, but also destroy your current reality, but then also rebuild it in such a high vibrational fashion. Boom, here you go, Zac.
Wow.
Have fun with that. And I think I was 19 at the time. Homeopathy had always been a part of my life. I was brought up on it from a traumatic birthing experience to, now. I was that kid that would sneak into the medicine cabinet and raid the Arnica 30C and just eat the whole tube because it was fun. It was sugar. It was sweets. So yeah, a pretty strong vital force when it came to joining the legendary Helios Pharmacy. And I joined Helios because I needed a job. I was working in the tea industry and I was the only one interested in the healing aspects of tea. And my time was up. You just know when your time is up. So left a job with no job to go to. And my mum knew Helios's marketing director. So just said, hey, any jobs for Zac? A month later, it was my first day. And going into Helios, not a homeopath, and without any idea about how remedies were prepared, made, shipped out, the works, was very, very, it was quite dramatic in a very positive sense, because you weren't just learning a new working environment, you were learning a new craft, you were learning a new art form, you were learning more about yourself as you were touching, I can't remember how many remedies are at Helios, but it's into the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And I can safely say I've touched every single remedy in there. I've absorbed the energy of every single remedy.
Wow.
And there was, this moment where I became very ill very quickly because I was having such a shift, a very quick, fast-paced shift. So, then homeopathy came. And then once you're in that vibration, I think just things out there resonate with you on a deeper level. And that's when body holographic interpretation came into my periphery from my very good friend who found me when that car crash happened when I was 18, 19.
Oh, wow.
And said, this was your divine spark awakening your psychic senses. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess often for, anyone out there watching, often when we have a traumatic event in our life, there's a lot of things that can happen, but for some people, Zac included, it is like a spiritual awakening. And oftentimes they say that is because over the years, our pineal glands have become calcified by the fluoridation in the water. And, there's other reasons as well, but when the pineal gland is calcified, you have the inability to be able to really hone into your intuition and know beyond knowing, then trust in the universe. And if you have a head trauma or a car crash, sometimes that alone shakes the calcification off the pineal gland, and boom, you're suddenly in a kind of a different reality.
Literally, yes.
So did this person actually kind of come to the rescue during the crash, or someone you met just afterwards?
Yeah, it was fascinating. My friend, her name's Paula Ratton, and she's an absolutely incredible person, let alone energy worker. And I had the car crash, didn't tell anybody what I'd seen. I told my mum eventually, and then it was that weekend that I told my mum. My mum was doing a market on the Pantiles. She used to be a jewelry smith, and somebody new in the market was next to her that day, and it was Paula, and she just turned to my mum and said, your son is very psychic. What, is he all right? And my mum was like, oh my goodness. And it was just from that moment on, we've remained very, very close friends and colleagues. And Paula's fabulous. She brought body holographic interpretation into the third dimension, and trained me up, and it's been like that ever since, I guess.
So what is it? Give us a
what is it? I've been teasing you.
give us the juice. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I guess when I feel into it, it feels almost like it's kind of tuning into our auric field, but on a kind of a deeper level.
Yes. It is the fundamental understanding that everything is a hologram. Everything has or is a representation of a hologram. Everything is energy. Energy can never be created or destroyed, just transformed. So let's do something about it. Let's work with it. Let's have fun with it. So literally, body being the physical, the mind, body, spirit, holographic being the energy we are presenting, the energy that is fluid, that can transform, and interpretation being me as the third party, assisting and supporting in any way, shape, or form that I can from a high vibrational standpoint to give a third party perspective to the client on what their hologram is presenting like. And we do whatever the client needs. We can go in, look at past lives. We can look at parallel lives, future lives. Recently, Paula has developed the ability to do umbilical cord healing and going back through the genetic lineage through the umbilical cord in holographic training. What else do we do? Oh, chakra work. Oh, anything that the client needs, we do. And this is my sort of number one modality that I do day to day. And homeopathy plays a huge part in it, because if the hologram is saying, oh, phosphorus 10N, please, then I will invite that remedy into the space, offer it to the higher self. If the higher self says yes, go ahead, then it goes into the energy field. If the higher self says, just let the person know that this is a remedy that they would do well on, we let them know at the end, and then it's a conscious choice for them in the third dimension whether they want to have a remedy from me or not. So yeah.
Okay, so actually, I mean, that sounds amazing. It's something then that you can do like this online.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how does it look if somebody comes into you, Zac? Are they lying on the table? Are you just sitting chatting?
Yes, so I've sort of toyed with a couple of different ways. The way I was taught is to conduct a talking therapy like environment, and then to investigate, go down little guided meditations with the clients to get to where we need to go. And the reason why I started doing it my way, with the client on the couch, styled like a Reiki session. And actually what I do is I write notes throughout on my iPad. So the clients leave with a transcript of the energy work that was conducted, because I've been to energy healers before where you have your hours session and then they say, right, you're done. You know, that'll be X amount, please. You're done. See you in 4 weeks. And you're like, but what was done? Actually, what was done in my energy field? I can't work like that. I need 100% transparency between practitioner and client, hence why I make a transcript, a literal transcript of we did this, 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 this. And because I need my clients to understand that this isn't my energy field we're working with, it's theirs, and they have the divine right to know everything about it. And also the notes provide them with a blueprint as to what they want to work with, if they want to follow it, if they want to tear it up and throw it out the window. It's their energy, they can do what they want with it. So yes, start like a Reiki session, and it will be about 45 minutes to 50 minutes of lying there, and I'm just holding space, energy's going in, and whatever needs to come out for me to let them know about, we'll do so.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow. And then I guess from that, that's also kind of feeding into your quantum stuff. So is your quantum session a kind of a fusion of all your modalities, including the body interpretation?
Yes. So when clients book in for body holographic interpretation, they are booking in for a quantum session, because sometimes it may be that they don't need the full holographic works today. They may just need their chakra realignment, or using homeopathic remedies to do some healing work in a Reiki setting. So yeah, I just, you know, like you, completely fluid, and whatever they need, they get.
Yeah, amazing. I love it. I think we have been waiting for this time for so long. You know, I think, like me in particular, my whole life I've been hearing about the age of Aquarius. You know, and we are actually, it's like a balayage at the minute, isn't it? You've got the age of Pisces coming to an end, and the age of Aquarius is starting to really rise.
Yes.
And for me, it's like all these gifts that people have at the moment, I'm just, oh, so amazing. There's so much healing out there. People like you who have just arrived on the scene and are able to share these gifts. It's like, I've been waiting for this for so long. I was always like the weirdo in the village. Yes. And now we're everywhere. It's just like, woo!
It's weird not to be weird.
So thanks. That's a really, really nice breakdown of how things work, Zac. And then I guess that with that as well, like you're bringing in, even, you know, when I'm doing similar work to you, it might be suddenly I'll get a cue to use a tarot card. To deepen their understanding of why their heart's blocked, or what's their soul trying to express to them, or whatever. So I know your skill set has then also extended to creating a range of hydrosols as well.
Yes.
So talk me into that. What was that like? A kind of like a download that you received, or you'd been using other ones in your sessions and you just thought, sod it, I'll make my own?
It's so funny because when it comes to using tools in the session, I don't really use that much. You know, I don't yes, I use a bit of sage here and there, but I'm not one for, you know, the whole kit and caboodle. If anything, I don't know, it's just not in my periphery. And I'm all about quick gratification for myself. So if, you know, I'm very blessed to say that the door is open and it's swinging. You know, I may only have 5 to 10 minutes between clients, whether that be online or in person. So I just had this moment where I was like, oh, I need to make a spray quickly. And I'm no aromatherapist, haven't trained yet. So I just sort of went with my gut feeling and just made something that seems to have worked and people love it. So I can quickly, 5 minutes before my next client, spray in the room and do the appropriate energy work, the holographic clearing. But I didn't have time to just sit, burn sage, burn Palo Santo, ring some bowls, XYZ, which are all brilliant methods of space clearing. Just didn't fit with my calendar. So that's why it sort of made the sprays to make my life easier. And then I realized, oh my goodness, they're actually okay.
I'm quite good at this.
Put a price on it and do it.
Yeah, because you were doing a few markets for a while and selling your crystals and your sprays and I think you had bracelets as well. I remember you.
Yes. I've got a little crystal shop going, and that's just awesome. You know, if a client needs something, or if they're in the room and they're like, oh, I love that, I want that, I'm taking that home, I'm like, here you go, take it. Just to again be multifaceted, and whatever they may need, they may just need a bracelet, they might not need a homeopathic remedy, they may just want a spray, whatever they need. I think as practitioners we have a right and a responsibility to make sure that if they resonate with us, just to show up as authentic and with as many things as we possibly can for them.
Yeah. And from that, Zac, then do you have a favorite modality?
I do. I think the quantum healing sessions that I conduct are my favorite, because not only have I created the layout myself, nobody else on the planet is doing it quite like I am. And that is not a brag. That's just, you know, I've done this in a way that supports my needs. And therefore, if I'm the best practitioner showing up as my best self, then the clients will get the most authentic and best version of Zac possible. And it's just been an extension of all of the incredible teachers I have had for every modality I've ever trained in. So yeah, I do love a quantum session, because I just don't know what's going to come through. You know, we could do past life stuff, and sometimes I have moments where I'm working with very low vibrational energy attachments on my clients, and having to conduct something that maybe Joe Bloggs would call an exorcist or something like that, because you know, as much as we're working in the light, we can't ignore the fact that there are lower vibrational frequencies out there that have a very real presence in this third dimension as well.
Absolutely. I'm gonna talk into that a little bit with you, Zac. So what kind of, can you give, because there's a lot of interest in this kind of area of healing, and I think you're right, there's so much talk about the light. If we don't go into our shadow, you know, we often don't do the deep work. And sometimes what Zac says is, yes, when you're working in the field of energy, you do come across lower vibrational entities, or sometimes it's like an oath from a past life or an agreement, and the vibration of that is somehow affecting your presence in this day and age. So what, have you any examples you could give to our listeners, Zac? That would be cool, actually.
I think it's so important. Sorry, it's so important, Janey, for everybody to remember, including myself. I have to tell myself daily, lower vibrational frequencies are energy, high vibrational frequencies are energy. Energy is spiritual in nature and physical as well, mental and emotional as well. Let's include all the layers there. So it's so important that we don't spiritually bypass energy in general. And also it's healthy to remember that this energy that we're working with in this third dimension isn't our own. It's not our energy. We are, in a way, it's on loan to us from source. and the universe, and we are just an extension of source and the universe. It's like blockbusters, you know, we are just the DVDs on the shelf, and we get used.
We're way more than that.
Yeah, of course we are.
More than that, Zac. We are beyond that.
I don't know why blockbusters came through there. But you know, essentially we are just an extension of the universe, and the universe is the highest.
Crystals of God, I think, was a kind of, you know, in the lockdown, some of the truthers were using that as a, you know, I guess an analogy. Yeah, we are, and that's part of the age of Aquarius as well. That there's no need to look for a God outside ourselves.
Yeah, we are that. We are that.
Yeah, totally. So,
go ahead.
No, go on.
So when it comes to a lower vibrational spectrum of energy, a great example that I can give is I have quite a diverse mix of clientele.
Yeah.
And a lot of I work with a lot of Capricorn top-down structure frequencies.
What does that mean? Wow.
So I think to just keep it sort of we have to be so careful about the words we choose as well. That also invites lower vibrational frequencies to attach onto the hologram. So to sort of keep it in a space of authenticity with me without giving energy to names, top-down structures being, you know, let's look at the banking infrastructure, let's keep the rich the rich, the poor the poor. The structures that actually have no place as we move into new earth frequency, as we are already in new earth frequency.
So the government, corporations, even some of the NGOs that are out there now that are pushing all these bonkers agendas and
agenda, that's the word there, agenda. Anything with an agenda that isn't of an authentic vibration.
Or love orientated.
Absolutely.
Totally.
So I work with some clients who have chosen to come to me because they're no longer willing to participate in those top-down structures.
Okay, right, yes.
And we have to remove those, let's just say, energetic cords and attachments on a lower vibration from their hologram. It's so difficult. But let's just say that I have to deal with people that have given their power away in potentially a cult-like fashion, in a ritualistic sense, and working with spiritual beings of a low vibrational frequency, or spiritual beings that are willing to support a lower vibrational frequency.
I think the buzzword for that years ago when I was like in my 20s was energy vampires.
That's it.
And it's not so much used these days anymore because the spiritual world has evolved so much, and so people articulate things in a much deeper, kind of wider, broader way now. And I mean, you know, when I listen to people like Charles Eisenstein speak, it's like, wow, the guy is, you know, he articulates things so clearly. And I think that's also what's happened in the energy healing world, in the spiritual world, that actually as we've started to evolve and as our 5D vibration is really starting to kind of manifest, so too has the way of how people heal, how healers operate, how they speak, what our language is. You're so right. Spells.
That's my favorite. That's exactly it. Spelling. What are you doing? So
much energy. I think that's so important to teach your children about the energy and the power of their words, because it does carry a vibration, like Zac has said, and I'm always banging on about it. Energy is everything, and your words carry a vibration out into the universe, and it's heard by the most furthest star beyond.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh gosh, we just deep dive, me and you, Zac, don't we?
Right down
there.
Yes, spelling, contracts. People are very unaware of the contracts that they make in life. I gave a great example to my client the other day that when you go to a self-service checkout, at the moment they have all of those CCTV cameras in your face. And
Oh,
I don't know if you've experienced that yet, but it's quite
no,
rough,
we don't
you know?
have supermarkets in the Western
No.
world.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'll be house hunting before you know it. But before, when you arrive at that self-service checkout, that minute you swipe that item, you have created a contract to be filmed, to be recorded, to be used as evidence, to be used is a very key term there.
Wow,
And with every client, whether we're working on a high vibrational or a low vibrational spectrum, I'm here to support whatever they need, of course. We are in a quantum space, removing those contracts, removing those cords, removing those agreements. Gosh, no, we don't read the terms and conditions enough out there. We just tick a box because we're so eager just to get to the next step. Guilty as charged, everybody. I'm so guilty of doing that. But, you know,
you're not guilty. There's your language.
Yeah. I take full
You're
accountability
innocent.
and ownership of my words and of my past words and my present words and my future words. And, you know, we have spiritual moments where we can be like, okay, you know, I didn't use my words in an appropriate manner back then. I might have created a contract there. And even if it was a contract of cutting ties, but I'm in a space now where I can do the work with that.
Yeah. Well, and for anybody out there watching, and they're a little bit like, what are they talking about?
What's going on now?
It's all this kind of energy can attach itself to you, okay? And often we go through our life and we're not aware of that. And because of the nature of the work that Zac does, he has the ability to pick up on this stuff and then to clear it, transmute it, transform it into energy that is going to serve you and your divine self for your highest, greatest good. So, you know, if you're wondering and you want a little bit more information on that, you can either contact Zac or I, no problem. We can explain it to you. If you want to experiment on yourself and remove some of that from your energy field, tuning forks are a really, really good place to start. So just buy one tuning fork and you just start to kind of, you know, work in your energy field with the tuning fork. And this starts to shift lower vibrational energies from your field, particularly if you get the, what frequency is it? 417 hertz, isn't it? Is one of the best one, or 528 hertz is a really good fork to start.
528 is brilliant to start with.
Yeah. But do feel free to reach out to either Zac or I if you want more information, because it can be a bit like, oh my God, they've just lost me here.
I have that. That can happen with me. Many apologies, but we're here to help.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm totally on the page with you, but some people are really new to this, and you know, that's also part of the age of Aquarius, is that so many people are up leveling themselves or having their awakening or shifting their consciousness or suddenly just feeling like they want to attune more with nature, or they feel like they want to be in their heart space more, or they just want to change their life and they're not sure how to do it. And that is all energetic stuff happening, that you feel this urge to do something, you're not sure where it's coming from, you're not sure what it is, but you just know you have to do it. So Zac and I can help you with that stuff. So any questions, just DM us or put them in the comments below, and just take that step.
Yeah,
so exciting.
Absolutely.
I love it when new people come in, Zac. You know, they come in, they're like, I've never done any energy work before or had Reiki. It's like,
yes, I know. I love it.
Go. Brilliant. Do you know what? You know how bad I am with technology. I love technology, but it always, you know, it's like low-key energy. It's like the trickster to me, you know, something's always glitching or emails get lost or so, I mean, something I really admire about you is your social content creations, and I would really, really love for you to you know, talk us through those a little bit, Zac, how, you know, how you do them.
Yes.
It'd be like a little bit of kind of education for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people out there, because if you haven't seen Zac's Instagram page, it's amazing. And like, he just posts such beautiful content, and it's just inspiring. It really is. It really is, Zac. I love it. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear, you know, how you do it.
Absolutely.
Have you got what do you use, a Mac or?
Yeah. Well, basically, actually, it's so brilliant that you mentioned it, because I'm actually doing my first ever sort of soft launch of an in-person spiritual business masterclass next.
Oh, I just joined. I think I was one of your first in the door. The Spiritual Academy.
Yeah. So yes, so a couple of local people in Tunbridge Wells. I'm basically just doing a quick test run next week, and it's what I want to share with people is that this social media malarkey, yes, it's a chore. It is. There's rules that you have to follow. There's algorithms you have to participate in. But please don't be fearful of it. Please don't be fearful. Yes, all these large conglomerates may not like what we're up to, especially with homeopathy, with the big shadow ban of the word homeopathy on social media. It is, but they're not going to stop us, because they can't afford to not have somebody on their app clicking. So I don't want anybody to be fearful or feel intimidated by social media. My golden rule is just show up with as much authenticity as you can. Okay. I thank you, Janey, for saying that my posts are lovely, because it does take a hot minute to conduct a post, even just one post for social media. And the algorithm at the moment for Instagram specifically wants you to post every day, one thing every day for your Instagram grid. So that is your Instagram page, whether that be a post, a video, but Instagram calls videos reels, whether that be what they call a carousel, so multiple posts. Doesn't matter at the moment. It will change. It always changes. They just need you to post one post every day. They also want you at the moment to post 6 stories. Wow. 6 stories to Instagram at the moment every day, 2 in the morning, 2 midday, 2 in the afternoon.
How do you know all this stuff?
I'm in part of the Instagram creator lab, so I basically get given information and phone calls with Instagram every now and then, and they just say, hey, look, we need you to do this, because the more that you do this, the more engagement you will get. They give you the golden tickets. If you do this, we will make sure people see you. We will promote you. If you don't, you're gone. We'll kick you off the bandwagon. So you have to play the game, but as long as you're playing it authentically, and as long as you're giving snippets of what you're showing up in the world to do, it can be a very fun experience. I'd say that I get about 60% of my clientele come through social media channels for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's so important. And a lot of that is international business, where I'm doing it online as well. And doing videos, having your voice out there, or even just your face movement. People love a video. It keeps them engaged. And as long as you edit your videos in Instagram, in the app, and do not use third-party applications or software, you will be exposed to a higher ranking because you're using their software. Okay. Does that make sense?
Hang on a second. It does, but I'll just break it down.
Yes.
So you can confirm if what I'm thinking is right. So if I film something, film it on Instagram rather than through my phone's video.
You can film through your phone's camera. So whether if it's an iPhone, then your Apple integrated camera app that was pre-installed, but using a third party that you've had to download from the App Store is a no-no at the moment, because they want you to be on on their platform, because
Yeah.
the more minutes that you spend on their platform, the more money they're making off of you. Okay, so it's not a pleasant thought.
The beast.
It's
So if I, for instance, made a 2-minute video of us chatting from this and edited it, there's an editing suite on Instagram, is there? Is that what you're saying?
There is, but it is not very efficient.
Good. Yeah, of course.
It's not good at all. So my advice would be, there's one application that I use, that I use, but I used to use more prolifically. It's called CapCut, and that's CAPCUT. And it's a brilliant software to edit. Can you still hear me?
I can, but you've just paused.
I think my webcam has decided to go off, but as long as you can still hear me, that's amazing.
Do you want me to pause it a second?
Let me toggle video and see if that does something. There we go.
See, now you're giving away all of Instagram's secrets. There's probably a little
Yeah, I know. My luckily I've turned my phone off, but my Instagram probably dip in a minute. But no, they want you to know this stuff because they want you to be able to utilize their platforms to the best of their ability. So they actively share this information. But you know, they just, I don't know. They just don't make it very easy for everybody to be able to use it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not, like, I don't consider myself very techy, or you know, my kids would probably say I'm a bit of a dinosaur. Like, I mean, I know how to use things. I'm only 47. I should have a better handle on things than I do, but there is a lot to it. And I personally, it's something to do with my own energy, because I can sit down and start doing something and the computer just goes.
Oh, tell me about it.
And my husband will come over and just press 2 buttons and everything's fine again after me being sat there for half an hour going.
Yeah.
But that's okay, you know.
Of course it is.
I manage, but how long does it take you, kind of, you know, to make one of your awesome little videos? And the one I love the most is, it just cracks me up every time I watch it, is when you're making a remedy and one of the pills kind of flies off and you just like grab it and eat it.
Yes, who doesn't do that? I'm sorry, but no, you can't tell me that there is not a single homeopath out there who doesn't eat the pills that just fall on the floor.
Well, I actually put them in my pot plants a lot of the time. But,
all that, yeah. I'm just exposing myself right now.
No, great. That's fine. You're being authentic.
Yes.
How long does it take you to, you know, to kind of compile one, Zac, from start to finish? And how many takes do you do? Like, I know I made a video and I just thought, oh, I'm just brilliant at this. Did the take. I was like, oh, that was just so bad. So I did it again. Yeah. Ended up doing like 6 or 7 takes. And by the 6th one, I was just like, oh, I'm just posting it.
Yeah. Do you know what? That video of that pill falling moment, that took about half an hour in that video software CapCut, just to be able to cut things, do zoom effects and filters. But nowadays they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to be doing heavily filtered videos or highly edited content, because what all social media platforms are trying to do at the moment is to become they want to become like Google, like a search engine, and they want search engine optimization. Instead of going to a web browser, whether that be Google or DuckDuckGo, whatever you use, they want you to use the search engines within the applications. So you may search in on Instagram, homeopathic remedies for kennel cough, and then all of those brilliant infographics, all of the content that we are creating as holistic creators will flag up for them. So they want you to do, they want you to be a wiki page. Your feed needs to be a Wikipedia for prospective clients. Okay.
Wow.
So They want you to be doing chats like this, authentic conversations, authentic content, and written pieces. The algorithms can now detect words in a photo.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So,
Well, it's all data harvesting, isn't
well,
it?
it is, yes. As long as you're aware
Yeah.
of that, yeah, totally.
In the
Um,
machine.
yeah. So,
What
when
would
it
you
comes
say
to
to someone then, Zac? What would you, sorry to cut you off, but what would
yeah,
you say to someone like me?
mm,
Where would be a good place to start if I wanted to make content? Like, do you use a specific camera or is it just your
mm.
phone? Yeah.
Yeah,
What would
so I've
you
gone
say
through the
about
ranks of doing fashion photography. You know, I'm very you know, fluent in cameras, but I shelled out and I bought the most expensive iPhone on the market purely because needed a new phone, but I needed a camera. What was the point in buying a new phone and a very expensive camera when I can combine the two,
that?
as well as it all being formatted for me in a social media layout with the screen size of the iPhone. So I recommend not shelling out too much money on all of this equipment.
Yeah.
Stick with the basics, stick with a phone. You can buy microphones like mine that I'm using right now for,
Impressive too, that one.
yeah, for audio quality is an absolute key as well. You want it adds a layer of professionalism in there.
Absolutely.
And starting off, if you're not ready to commit to videos to have your voice be at the present of a video, you know, confidence is key for it. And yes, it can take up to 10, 20 takes for me to do a speaking video because I will fumble or
Yeah.
won't be as clean. And even when I'm editing it, just as I'm about to post, I might listen back and be like, no, I'm getting guidance that actually I need to change those two words around. So the whole process for a 20-second video can be up to 2 hours sometimes, not always, but
Okay, yeah.
don't worry about it. It can take that long. But start with infographics, start with text on photos. You can download photo editing software like Canva, which have a free and a premium service, and you can just create text, quotes,
It's
anything.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
people.
can't use it, but
I've actually stopped using Photoshop and the very, you know, the high powered photo editing engines to now go on to Canva because of the efficiency, and actually because of the AI technology behind it. It makes it a lot more efficient for somebody that runs a busy practice.
so you're on your grid.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Canva, it is an amazing platform to go on, and you can upload literally anything and make kind of posters or posts or all kinds of stuff. And it does make your grid look really slick because you can input your logo on there or the style of lettering that you like, the color, your color and your branding and everything can be really optimized and utilized on Canva. So yeah, that is a really top tip for anybody out there watching that has and wants to create content. Thanks so much for sharing all that, Zac. It's really, really insightful, and I'm going to go and look up CapCut and have a play around with that. So thank you sharing all your wisdom on that.
You're very welcome. Absolutely.
Before we wrap things up, I want to ask you just to reveal a couple of your favorite remedies to me. And when I say that, for those of you watching in homeopathy, we have what's called polycrest remedies, which are remedies that have and cover a huge array of symptoms in people when required. I don't want your polycrest remedies, Zac. I want your wow, woo woo, wacky.
My wacky zacky remedies, as somebody at college called it.
Yeah, wacky zacky. Yes, and also Zac has also made some of his own remedies.
Yes.
One of which we had a really deep kind of common connection over, and I actually ended up conducting a proving of that last year, which was a Lemurian quartz tower, because we both have an affinity with Lemuria, which is an ancient civilization. So we'll talk about that maybe another time, because that was the first proving I conducted, and I'm still bringing that, you know, to light and bringing all the notes together, and hopefully get that published soon. But Zac, what are your favorite remedy?
Oh, okay. It's a hard question. It's such a hard question, because, you know, we have such intimate relationships with remedies.
At the moment, then, because, like,
Yeah,
you know,
at the moment. I'll need to do it this week. Zac loves.
yeah, this week. Yeah, of course.
I tell you what, I've had a fabulous experience with the remedy called Rainbow. Some of you may know it as Spectrum.
Spectrum. I was just thinking of that too, because that was the one I used a lot in lockdown for all the nurses. I said, take that before you go to work. It'll fortify your energy field, and everything will bounce off you. None of them got sick. None of them.
Yeah. It is such a powerful detox remedy. So when I'm conducting maybe an energetic detox with somebody, if I'm using polycrests like Nux vomica and sulfur and pulsatilla, I will always support with Rainbow, because it gives back that spectrum of light to the clients. It doesn't take any prisoners. If it's not meant to be there, it won't be there. At the same time, it's working on the chakra column. Oh, I absolutely adore it. And I have personally been prescribed that remedy. So yes, absolutely love that one. A remedy that I'm dishing out like sweets at the moment is Berlin Wall.
Oh yeah.
Berlin Wall remedy.
Talk to us a little bit about that then.
Wow.
What indicates that remedy for you lately? What's been the indications?
Well, it's grief. It is grief. It's a huge grief remedy. Grief that has spanned not only generations, but genetics. Grief that has basically fractured somebody's reality in such a way that they woke up the next day on a different planet, that their life was changed. And it's such a
divide in families as well, just like the wall through, you know, East and West Berlin. There's a huge divide. Oh, you're frozen again. There's a huge divide in families, and that remedy just kind of amalgamates them again, doesn't it?
It does.
Ooh, amazing.
Beautiful. And I think a third one, I don't know, just having a look around, see if I get any inspiration or what needs to be shared. Let's just pull from the ether right now. Let's go with frankincense. Frankincense I've used a bit recently, specifically in cases where there is grief present, but that grief isn't being able to be mutually shared. If there's a fractured in the relationship, in whether it be a family or society or in place of employment, whatever it may be, whatever form of grief, if the other party is not stepping up to allow a successful healing experience. And of course, healing is not always glamorous. It may be that healing experience needs to be quite a harsh cutting of ties to then project and springboard both parties to the next phase of their healing journey.
Amazing. It's a remedy as well that has huge spiritual connections to Christ. So, and that's an energy that's really become quite even more prolific now than it has been in the last 2,000 years. So it's a really beautiful oil. If you can't get the remedy, just use the oil, and you can anoint your third eye, and it helps that divine connection to Christ energy, or even just to the light. So taking it with a homeopathic potency as well as the oil, it gives it two pathways into your healing. So you're taking it as an energetic frequency when you receive it homeopathically, and then you're taking it as a material oil when you use it as a massage. So it really escalates and elevates what needs to be healed, doesn't it, Zac?
Very much so. Very much.
Amazing. So when are you going to do your massage therapy course?
Whenever you're ready to teach me.
I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I was
you?
gosh, I need to actually teach my system, because I do a fusion of Swedish and Ayurvedic. Then it's very different, I suppose. So, and all the energy stuff. But yeah, it's there simmering away. I just want to get the Emporium is also a little shop I'm going to set up.
Yes.
So once that's birthed, yeah, we'll have a chat about that. It would be amazing.
Oh, 100%. Can't wait.
Well, I think that is just so lovely to have a really gorgeous conversation with you, Zac. I hope everybody watching has learned something and even received a healing in some way. Mine and Zac's intentions, and all the people that I talk to on Sage and Seer Emporium, our intention is always very strong that whoever's listening in or watching in some way, shape or form receives information that they need, feels like they've come away enlightened, and also, you know, that it gives you the capacity and the ability to seek out a healer to further your own journey. So good luck to everybody out there. I really hope you've enjoyed listening to Zac and I today, and have an amazing day, and all our love from Ireland and from England.
Absolutely.
Janey and Zac.
Thank you.
Chat to you soon, everyone. Bye.